Let me introduce you to a short little story about who I am. Not really a memory in particular, but this is God's autobiography. I am Stephen French, and that's just what I want to do here. I'm going to keep this week pretty quick episodes, and today I wanted to talk about kind of building a nomad, or kind of why, part of why I am who I am and why I like to do what I like to do. And by that I mean I move a lot. I'm very comfortable with moving a lot. If I'm in one house for too long, I end up either moving the room around or I'll move into a different room of the house. I like change, and there seems to be a pretty strong reason in my nurture as to why. To put it short, my parents split when I was 11. They were married for 16 years and they lived in 15 different houses. By the time I was 12, I moved into a house for the first time that I would be at for more than a year. I don't know if I worded that well. But yeah, I moved into a house in my hometown, Cherry Valley. I lived all throughout that town. But around 12, moved into a house in Maiden Lane. Stayed there for like 4 or 5 years. First time that's ever happened. Because again, every year before that was a different home. I grew up between Texas and New York exclusively, I guess. I was born in New York. When I was real little, we moved down to Texas. And it seemed until about middle school, we just went back and forth. I'm gonna sneeze. Keep it in. So until middle school, we would spend about half a school year in New York, half a year in Texas. But it would be split just about in the middle. And I think Texas starts a little earlier. So some years I would start in whichever state starts first and end in whichever state starts last. So I'd have extra school. But then in the opposite years, I would have the opposite effect. I don't really know why we did this. I'll probably do a longer video on this at some point where I kind of understand where we moved, why we moved. I know that my mom has family down in Texas. My dad's family is up in New York. My dad had jobs in between both of them. I think we found out later on that I'm allergic to Texas, or I'm allergic to a certain tree that plumes every morning, and I was on a nebulizer every night. I had like some pretty bad asthma as a kid. So I think that's why we stayed away from Texas. We kept going back to visit. But yeah, the majority of until I was about 11, I lived in like 10 to 12 houses. And we drove every time we moved. First time I was on an airplane was April of this year. Did road trips to California, road trips to Florida, because I'm built that way. I'm built to move around. I like moving around. I don't like staying still. And that's why I'm moving back to Arizona. And yeah, really quick little story. One that I plan to polish up on another day. But why this week will be really short videos. I'll probably not mention this other than this time, because nobody watches these anyways. Is I'm doing another game jam, which is a game development competition. I have from the 15th to the 21st to build a game. It has to be pixel graphics and it has to be of arcade style is the theme. So link in the description to my Twitch. I'll be streaming a lot of the development through that. That's all I want to say today. Thank you for swinging by God's autobiography, flipping through another page. Have a good day.